Element. Elements of designing consist of 1. Conceptual element is visible element but not existing. 1.1. A point indicates a position in space. There is no width, length, and depth. It gives off the feeling of fixation in no direction. It does not cover space. 1.2. A line is a distance which a spot moves. The feeling of a line includes length with little width or thickness. There are position, direction, movement, and growth. 1.3. A plane refers to connected lines which surround an area and result in shapes. It can be a group of points and lines which we see as a plane. A plane is a conceptual element visible from the front. We can see the differences of colors, surfaces, and spaces. A plane is important to shapes and spaces. It results in the creation of shapes in 2 or 3 dimensions. It also controls the movement of spaces, both paralleling the flat surface and going into the depth. 2. Visual element is the substitution of conceptual element. When we draw a spot, a line, a plane, or a volume on a paper, we not only see width and length, but also colors and textures. It also depends on the materials and methods. When a conceptual element transforms into a visual element, it demonstrates shapes, sizes, colors, and textures which are part of designing. 2.1. Shape is an indicator of forms of components. It results from the shape of texture and the borders of the shape. 2.2. Size shows the real measurable amount of a shape in length, width, and height. It is an indicator of shape proportion. The visual element of shape indicates sizes as a feeling of big or small. 2.3. Color is a clear symbol to separate components from the surrounding environment. It includes color, texture, shape, and gradients of colors in the shape of the surface of a shape. 2.4. Texture of a shape affects the difference of touch perception and light reflection. Texture which is smooth induces the feeling of wanting to touch, whereas rough texture gives off the feeling of not wanting to touch, but just looking. 3. Relational elements mean more than one element which has to be considered in the arrangement. To create relation of elements, one must consider the following factors. 3.1. Direction of a shape depends on how that shape links to a viewer, a frame, and surrounding shapes. 3.2. A shape can be placed in the middle of the frame or leaning toward one side of the frame. The shape is linked to the structure of designing if it is focused on the beginning of designing. 3.3. Space of 2-dimensional work will be flat. Space can be used as an illusion for depth in a 3-dimensional work. 3.4. Gravity is invisible but can be felt, such as heavy or light weight and stability of a shape or shapes. 4. Practical elements can be divided into 4.1. Representation is a form of art which is derived from nature or man-made world. 4.2. Meaning of each step of art demonstrates the idea of design. 4.3. Function of design is shown when the designs satisfy the human's need of utilization.